happened?
What are you doing? I was up all fucking night
Not me.
cleaning up cat diarrhea. It was great.
Oh, that sounds like a blast. An absolute blast.
Mm-hmm. It was like every hour, my wife's like, "Gotta help me clean up the cat." And I'm like, at like 3 in the morning, I was like, "Fuck the cat."
I watched The
Clean up.
Toy last night and did laundry and drank 40 a King Cobra.
What's more racist, the toy or Blazing Saddles?
The Toy. Definitely. I mean, but I was laughing so hard the whole time. This fucking movie is so funny.
It's so fucked up. I was like, when he's in the toy store, I was like, "There's a Confederate flag back there. I don't know if they noticed."
Oh no, they put it in there on purpose. It's like, no,
I know.
I honestly
know.
haven't watched it in a while. I mean, this is a weird intro for a different person, but I mean, whatever. I haven't watched it in a long time, and I was like, holy fuck! Like the part where she like walks him into the fucking dinner, and she's like, look at what we got. He's fucking great. And the lady's like, I heard what you did with Master Bates. It's like, what? Oh man, so racist, so fucking real
Just
though.
that thing where they're like, can we buy a person? Isn't that illegal? I'm like,
well, actually,
oh, the 80s.
No, it is totally legal. You can still do it. You just have to actually pay them a fair living wage. Like, if they're willing to accept the payment and agree to the terms, it's fucking legal. Fucking weird.
But it's not called, you don't own that person.
No. But I do believe there are forms of indentured servitude that still exist outside of the prison system.
Sure, it's called student loans.
Yeah, sure, we'll call it that. Why not? That's a good example, I guess.
Dude, they'll garnish your wages and take it before your child support.
Yep.
Like your student loan company gets paid before your kids get food.
Fuck your kids.
Yeah. No, not the baseball team. Anyway. I could talk all day about the student loan shit.
That's why I never did them.
I won't.
Refuse. Absolutely fucking refuse. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Yeah.
So I've got this theory that if I ever get my GED, then people are going to be like, what are you going to college for? So I'll just leave it at the GED. Why don't you go get your GED?
I think after 35, you don't have to fucking worry about that anymore.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Fucking fun. That.
It's just
I like this so much. I got another one. So,
I mean, you got useful degrees though. I mean, you know, the degrees you have are a massive benefit to yourself and the people that you work with. Some of these fucking idiots are getting ridiculous fucking degrees and shit like, you know, the intersectional study of prehistoric Tyrannosaurus Rex and women. Like, what the didn't even coexist. Yeah, but the chauvinism, that's where it started. It started with the Tyrannosaurus Rex. It couldn't bitch slap anybody. So it used its tail.
Rights of Stegosaurus.
Well, no, like, see, I'm working this out real as I go. So, like, this is actually making a lot of sense. So, like male chauvinism started with the Tyrannosaurus Rex, right? Like, the reason we backhand the hose is because they had to use their tail. So, since they basically smacked you with our backside, we no longer have a tail. We're just like, bitch, you get the back of the hand.
Yeah, because if I had a tail, I definitely...
I would use the fuck out of it. I'd hang from trees if I
I'd
could.
balance
I'd
so
fucking
well.
balance very well, much better than I do. I walk into corners all the fucking time. I don't know if that's like the leftover LSD or what.
I don't know.
Uh,
I fall upstairs.
I do that all the fucking time. All the fucking time. But that I know for me is a depth perception thing because I have a tendency to like ball of my foot on the edge of the stairs. So that way I get a little calf
Mm.
workout as much as I run up and down the stairs.
Yeah. Look at you. I get to have surgery soon, so
Woohoo.
it's gonna be great.
That does sound fun.
I tore my bicep.
I tore something and stopped working out, like something on my right side, doing some kettlebell cleans, and I haven't worked out in like 2 months. I really need to do that again.
Yeah, this'll not. I can't use my arm for 10 months, it says.
Oh,
If that's what I think it is. It's just great. It's fun shit that when you don't have fucking health insurance, you find out.
man, if you need
Yeah.
health insurance, I know a guy.
Yeah? You
Yeah,
can
me and
get
my
it?
wife pay $50 a month.
Yeah. Is it good?
I don't know. I've never used it.
That's the thing. Like, I never use it until I need it
Yeah, it's.
for like something crazy.
I was like, fuck, I'm old. I'm getting old, and I abused. I mean, I Hunter S. Thompson my body basically for fucking,
Right.
ever. So, and then I traveled the country getting fucking shit faced drunk all the time.
Right.
So I'm gonna have problems. There's
You
things.
think.
Oh no, I'm pretty fucking positive. I'm pretty damn sure.
I mean,
Oh, here's George.
there's
Here's
George. At
George.
least you were traveling in this country.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind traveling all over the place. To be honest with you. What's up,
Listen, you
George?
travel
Hey,
in
how you
jungles
doing?
and stuff, you
Doing all right?
get like infestations.
You can get infestations here in the country, man. There's plenty of
Not
fun.
botfly though.
No, you can get botfly here. I'm sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What, the way you said that, it was sounded like you're trying to find something in the store. So you can get infestations here. I just don't know where to buy them.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly right. I need some.
What happens when you
some
come into the
botfly.
middle of a conversation?
That's all
It's
right.
always the middle of a conversation.
That's kind of how we roll, man. Just when you join is when you join. I do want to welcome my friend here, George Wagner, to the Adventures of the Albino Rhino. George is a comedian I met during the quarantine. Pretty funny fella doing the Zoom shows. Just to get this part of it all out of the way, so that way we don't have to forget about it and try and, I don't know. It's been a weird morning. So why don't
been a weird year.
I'm just
So
living
fucking
one day at
strange.
a time, resorting back to what AA taught me to do during crisis times. Like tomorrow hasn't happened yet, so fuck it. Yesterday's
Isn't
over.
this like Groundhog Day? Isn't it like the same day over and over again?
It was for
A
2
little bit.
months here in Ohio. Looks like we might be returning to it. We'll see. It's getting rough. I think yesterday was our ninth or 10th consecutive day over 1,000 new cases in a day.
Yeah, dude. We're crushing it.
Yeah. Now the wonderful news is making sure to point out that Ohio's like one of the top 10 or top 20 states in the country who sucks at wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently,
The
we've
good
got.
news is, there's good news though. Apparently, one of the new, I guess, symptoms or issues with corona is that it makes the testicles and the penis smaller and causes erectile dysfunction. So,
Nice.
All right.
so the good news about that is that means that 99.9% of the men will start wearing masks.
Yeah.
One would think.
Right. Yeah. We'll see, man. I mean, there's a larger portion of the population is proving to be dumber than I thought. I mean, I'm all about freedom and shit, but if the fucking Chinese have been doing it for a decade because of smog, I can do it because I don't want to kill people or, I like I've got fucked up teeth, and the reason I got my top teeth done is because my teeth had deteriorated to the point where I couldn't eat chicken wings. So if I'm gonna pay $2,000 for new teeth just to eat some chicken wings, I'll wear a fucking mask if I really have to, and obviously I fucking have to.
It beats shaving.
It's hey man, those neck scarves. I'm telling you, the goatee's growing back out. I'm going for a 3-foot long albino goatee just to be interesting. And you know, I shaved it off whenever I had to go back to work because having it all pushed up on your face is not a good time. So, here we are. But George, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, you know, maybe any plugs or anything you want to rock out at the beginning whenever people are still, you know, probably paying the most attention.
Well, I've been doing comedy coming up on 3 years now.
Nice.
So I've been smart ass most of my life. About a year ago, actually it would have been a year ago this September, started to actually have a show that I put on with live comedy in a bar environment. And we were just actually starting to get some momentum going. We had good audiences. We, you know, were doing well right before the Corona hit. So you know, screwed that
That's
up.
awesome.
Been doing the virtual version of it for the last 3 months, trying to kind of keep the momentum going a little bit. And hopefully when things get back to whatever our new normal is going to be, we can kind of try to get back to doing some live comedy again.
Yeah, you're down in North Carolina now, right?
Yeah, Asheville.
Asheville, North Carolina. That's not a bad little spot.
Beautiful area. A little cooler than the rest of the state because we're in the mountains.
Yeah.
And a little cooler, just a little cooler, you know.
Yeah, well, it's got that backwoods North Carolina vibe to it, which is fun. People are really relaxed, you know.
It's kind of like a 70s commune. It's like Ann Arbor on steroids.
Yeah.
I used to live in Toledo, so I know that area.
Yeah, I saw that coming from the Red Rockets. Is that where you're originally from?
Yeah, prior to moving down here, I never lived outside of Ohio. I've lived all over Ohio. I was born in Lakewood, lived in Columbus, North Canton, all over. And then Toledo was the longest area before I moved out of here.
Yeah, I just moved back to Ohio last summer after being gone for 18 years.
Where were you?
Everywhere, man. I traveled the country for 10 years selling magazines. So I've been to Asheville, North Carolina quite a few times. And every other place that you just named off, I've been fucking everywhere, man. I love Johnny Cash, obviously, but did before, but now I'm like, I feel you, man. I get it. Then I ended up in Arkansas for 8 years, and I just got have kids, man. You know, this is where most of the family is. Grandma and I finally came to a mutually beneficial agreement that has turned out to be an absolute fucking blessing thanks to the coronavirus. Because, you know, the best laid plans of mice and men don't always go as laid. Like, we were supposed to move here and be actually moving into a house sometime right about now. And then coronavirus hit. And everything went pew all over again. So it was like, awesome. This is wonderful. So kind of what happened to you a little bit, you know, and probably 3/4 of the rest of America who were like, but I was just about to fuck.
But I had improv classes.
Oh. We were gonna buy a fucking house. Like, and now it's like,
I know you were gonna buy a house, but I had an improv class.
Fuck your class. I've been trying to get you to go do stand-up since we reopened, and you're just like, but I don't want to be sucky.
Well, no,
then you can't be a stand-up.
Yeah, right? You got to suck first, man. This is where it's at. So are you guys, how are you guys doing down in North Carolina? Are you guys opening up at all? I mean, where are you guys at in that whole process?
Our governor is trying, but I think we're right up there, either with you or close to you, as far as the number of people who do not want to wear masks.
Oh yeah, I don't think so. North Carolina.
Yeah, I could absolutely 100% see North Carolina being one of those.
And
one of those
and I'm
places.
sorry, but I would think that in this area they would want to wear masks because then you can't see they have no teeth.
Right.
Yeah, but as someone who has very few teeth, yeah, you get used to it after a while. You just don't give a fuck. Like, I don't do meth anymore. I haven't for 18 years, so you can suck a dick. I don't give a fuck. It's more inconvenient. Literally, like, it's weird. Speaking of teeth, like, and people look at me fucking weird whenever I say this, but like, the reason I have top dentures and the bottom are still the original fucking meth mouth is because most dentists don't want you to get your bottoms removed until you absolutely have to, because like bottom dentures are a complete pain in the fucking ass because your tongue is constantly pushing on it, trying to push it out. So, there's that. But
I love these little facts that I learn about life.
yeah, life is fucking weird, man.
Just,
But
just when you think you understand it, it gets weirder.
yeah, fucking awesome. That's why I like it, man. It makes it fun. And it's a fucking adventure. I enjoy the adventure. Now I have kids. I can't physically adventure, so I'm finding new forms of fun times. I mean, I support the whole freedom shit. If you really don't want to wear a mask, I guess that's cool. But like, they lose the thought of the fact that businesses have the absolute freedom to tell you to fuck off.
And
Yeah.
you don't want to wear a mask, that's fine. Stay home.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and there's, I'm sure, plenty of establishments who aren't requiring masks. A bunch of bars and stuff here in Ohio have gotten in trouble for it recently. I know I saw a Hamilton County Sheriff, which is one of our hot spots, flat out said they're not going to enforce the mandatory mask mandates and stuff. So it's like, okay. So, man, you got this is the weird thing for Americans, man. Like, we've got this right to civil disobedience that goes absolutely as far as people dying, and it's important that all of it happens. I just wish people would just chill the fuck out and live with the decisions that they make, but we're not going to do that. Fuck, nobody wants to do that.
The problem is we told people to wear the mask to protect everybody else. If we convince them that it protected themselves, they might actually wear them because they're selfish folks.
This again, you're talking about educating the populace. Like, you never underestimate the power of stupid people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not to mention stupid people who literally just heard like the guy who was supposed to be in charge of this shit be like, you don't have to wear a mask. You probably should wear a mask. You should wear a mask. Then went back to, it doesn't really matter unless there's this many people doing it in the first fucking place, to you should wear a mask, to, oh, by the way, whenever I said that you shouldn't wear a mask, I lied because we needed to build up the supply for these people because, they're honestly more important than you on the grand scheme of things in this. And people are just like, what the fuck? Are you fucking like... And now people are bashing him for how he handled the AIDS thing. Like, look, man, he was trying to convince gay people to wear condoms. You can't convince gay people to not snort cocaine off of people's assholes. Good fucking luck.
And the thing people don't realize is it took 10 years to find a treatment for AIDS.
That even extended their life, let alone finally just now really getting to a point to where if you're not rich as fuck like magic, you can actually beat it now and live a normal life,
Yeah, and we're 6 months in and they expect to know all the answers.
And I know people who are in the pharmaceutical industry. Like, personally, I have a family member who is, and they're like, like, shit's happening at a much faster rate. They've I think I've even heard James mention it from people that he's affiliated with. Like, I was talking to my aunt after I think I heard James actually bring it up. And I was like, so what's up with all this vaccine shit? Like, I don't really care, but what's up with it? Because she's a chemist. And she was like, it's really cool how we can just kind of do whatever the fuck we want, just not on people.
Right.
Well, and what people don't realize is we produce 3 million vaccines a year right now. That's the current capacity of our production. So if we had a vaccine today, we need over 300 million vaccines to hit everybody.
Right. If everybody takes it.
No, but yeah, but and it's only one shot. Sometimes they're multiple things. So
I wonder
just
if the ultimate form of it gets nationalized, you know, where they don't allow a patent to be registered.
but it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is our production capacity.
Can't.
Yeah.
Producing is only 3. If they make it 10 times, they increase it 10 times what it is now. It's still a tenth of what we need.
Right,
And
exactly. Like
where they would
the
normally
glass bottles they need, like all these different components. The logistics is a fucking nightmare.
and where
Yeah,
they
so
would
even
normally go to, you know, fill that overflow that we would need is China. And it's like, you know, damn well Trump's
Right.
gonna be like, don't give them that
Right.
shit. Let them fucking burn. It's their fault anyway. Like, fuck. That's
and now it's coming out that it might have started before that.
yeah.
So we don't know.
There's all kinds of crazy reports out there. I don't know what to believe.
At the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. We're here. Like,
Yeah, stop blaming, and start finding solutions.
Right,
that's part of the
exactly.
entire world problem is that we just pretty much consistently fucking end up in situations like this, and everybody's like, yeah, but fuck them. You remember the time that they fucking killed those 6.5 million people? Like, fuck those people, or whatever it is, you know? It's crazy how we deal with each other.
We're never gonna have a unified front until we get that alien invasion from space. That's it. That's it.
I thought that happened already.
And if you listened to Joe Rogan's one of his latest episodes last week, I mean, it was pretty much fucking already happening. So here we are, man. Like, woohoo! Because he had.
If we could blame the aliens for this, then we'd be unified. But we're blaming each other. We need that.
Right,
We need that
exactly.
external force to be able to say it's their fault.
Well, you know, one of the theories amongst alien people right now is that the monkeys have basically fucked up so bad that they're trying to clear us out a little bit so that way the experiment that they're conducting here can continue. You know, they're having to cull the population a little bit. And that's where
but this is such a little bit.
That's where
0.04%.
But it's growing, you know. I think
we also don't know the long-term effects of what the virus is going to be.
Right.
I keep thinking about shingles, you know, like you get the chicken pox and then 40, 50 years later you get shingles. It's like, who knows what's going to happen in 30, 40 years. My wife thinks that men are going to stop being able to reproduce and then we're going to be stuck in Handmaid's Tale or some shit.
There's a really long piece that a woman by the name of Amy Wright did, and she talked about that. She talked about chicken pox and herpes and I'll talk about all this and how it's in the system for forever. We had all this time to research it. It's like, you know, we've had 6 months to deal with this. We're still learning, and you know, we don't know the long-term effects, and we won't know the long-term effects for a decade at least.
At least they're going to study this forever.
Yeah. And they're finding 20-something-year-olds having strokes because of this.
Yeah.
It's just the most random fucking random shit that's ever hit humanity. Like, for anybody to think, you know, for anybody to think that our own race wasn't somewhat behind this, it's kind of silly. I mean, nature is good, but nature's not that complicated. You know what I mean? It's not the mechanisms nature uses to protect itself are relatively simplistic, you know?
Well, yeah, but we're the plague. It's just trying to eradicate us.
Yeah, well, and we're helping it because that's what we do. Like, it's who wasn't it? Graham Hancock, I think, has this theory that civilization builds itself up to the point where it literally kills itself. But because our gene pool is so evenly spread amongst the first world to the third world, I guess, if you want to use those terms, like, yo, there's parts of the Congo that this virus would never touch. And there are people there who will eventually, once we all kill ourselves, find their way out and be like, what the fuck is this shit?
They said the meek shall inherit the earth.
Right? And it's you know, we haven't in a recorded human history, except for maybe, you know, like stuff like the Mayans and that kind of thing, but that's not really something I guess we really consider recorded human history, because we start like Egypt and move outward from there, I would believe, right? Because that's really considered one of the original uh understood languages, or Sumerian or whatever. Woo.
Somewhat.
Yeah, something like that. But when we found the mines, we were like, whoa, these people like totally existed and died off without any of these other motherfuckers even knowing about it. It's crazy.
Well, when the conquistadors, Spanish basically came in and they got their asses kicked first time they went in there. But the bugs, the germs that they brought in with them, basically infected the mines and killed them all off. So when it came in, it's like they were all sick and dying.
Yeah, there's been millions of people. The size of like cities, like huge cities, were just empty.
Yeah. And I mean, that's just you know, that's how we roll.
About a Spanish flu.
But you know, fucking it's fine.
Well, George Carlin put it right. He said, you know, save the earth. Screw that. It's saving us. The earth will be here long after we're dead and gone.
No shit. You can raise the temperature quite a bit. It's still gonna be here.
People wonder what life's gonna be like whenever the sun explodes. Like, do you really think we're gonna fucking make it that long? Look at what the fuck we're doing.
Ask the cockroaches, they'll know.
Fucking lovely.
I mean, the cockroaches are probably one of the only things that legitimately are going to freaking make it. You know, the cockroaches and all the other abhorrent things that we just keep trying to. Can you imagine, like, if bed bugs evolve into the next human? Like, I remember back in the day, whenever your great grandparents and his 9 billion brothers and sisters used to eat those fuckers.
Your great grandma and grandma met in a motel room, eating a human.
Back then, it was much more of a delicacy than what it is now. We have to farm those bastards because, you know, you saw what they almost did.
It'd be like the Matrix.
Thank God for cloning.
Yeah, right.
Yep, we're making the food source and the batteries for the machines to take over. It's like the Matrix and fucking Terminator, man. This shit's really gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. It's a cookbook. Oh.
What if movies
serve man?
I've had this. I had this really good trip one time, and I had this idea, like, what if the movies are the aliens' way of warning us about what's gonna happen, right? Like, because you got to have some crazy imagination to come up with some of this shit. What if, like, you know, comic books and all that stuff sprouted out of some alien and planting some shit in somebody's head going, yo, you fucking people are doing some crazy, ridiculous shit, and the only thing that's going to save you isn't real. Y'all should probably calm down a little bit. And we're like, but we like to drive fast. Plastic is good, you know.
Someone was saying the other day, maybe hindsight 2020 was a message from the future.
Right.
Well, there is that guy supposedly, you know, that came back from the future and was like, y'all are fucking up. And now there's all these YouTube videos and people are like, look at this guy trying to warn us. We're all gonna die.
Yeah, he was just trolling.
But then they found out that they miscalculated the Mayan calendar because of the whole Julian Gregorian switch, and that the 2012 was actually the wrong date. It was actually 8 days per year difference, which calculates out to be sometime this year.
Whatever. You know, if that shit's legit, why are you gonna worry about it? You can't stop. You just can't stop nature. Like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna fucking happen. I mean, the stronger we try and control it, the more it fights back. You know,
I'm just trying to ride the wave, dude.
Mother Nature just got pissed with us and said, you know what? I got to clean up this shit. You guys stay inside.
well, I mean, every 10, 20 years, we have basically culled a portion of the population on purpose ourselves, and then all of a sudden, everybody's like, "Whoa, wait a minute, we need to get along with each other." And we exploded in size, and now the Earth's like, "Fuck, can you guys just fight for a while? Like maybe 10 years, just 10 years. No, you're just gonna get. You want to try this bat?" And here we are. It's fun.
Right.
Everything's fine. It could be worse. Like we're dealing with this shit, sitting in our comfortable spaces, recording our podcasts. Wishing we could be comics again, or whatever it is that you do that you can't do. Like I've been doing shows, but I don't know. I don't even know if my August 1st show is going to get to go on now. I'm like, ugh,
right.
But like, there's
day to day.
Fuck, there's motherfuckers in Africa who are like, we've been dealing with Ebola for 10 fucking years. You guys keep saying that you beat it, and then next year, like, it comes back, like, haha, fuck you. Like, and they're doing it in the dirt. Shit could be worse. I don't know. I definitely buy into that whole frame of thought where people just are so pissed off about things because that's all they seem to want to fill themselves in their brains with. Like, get off the dopamine train for a little while, or at least have fun and go do meth. I mean, if you want that dopamine explosion, enjoy it a little bit. Be productive, get some work done, build that deck you always wanted. Lube up all those wheels with the squeaky wheels at the grocery store, but that annoy you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many things that you can do. High on meth for the dopamine hit, that just people are missing out,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they experience it for about a year, probably. I think is a good vacation to take. Maybe that's another vacation idea. I'm slowly formulating like these coronavirus vacation businesses. One of them is like you go join a cult for a couple of weeks just so you can get away from all the news and all the crazy shit, you know what I mean, and be in a loving environment where people just want you there. But it's only for a couple of weeks. That way, you don't like get indoctrinated and that kind of thing. You could do like a year methamphetamine experience, in like southern Texas.
Just bring your own drinks.
Yeah. You just got to support yourself while you're there. We'll supply the. No, I think that would be illegal. Probably wouldn't work out very well. But the first one, cult thing.
How long the indoctrination period? That's what I
Yeah,
need.
just don't drink their Kool-Aid. Bring your own.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't give you the Kool-Aid, at first because they love you. They want you there, right? They don't until you agree to stay permanently. That's whenever they start doing the crazy shit, But like the first 2 weeks, it's nothing but like alcohol-infused orgies and shit. Like that's it. Right. You get no news, nobody from the outside world's breaking in. I mean, it's like a twisted version of the Playboy Ranch,
Actually, sounds just like the Playboy Ranch. No twisted part of it.
The twist is that it's a cult.
And the Playboy Ranch isn't.
Well, I don't think Jesus is involved in the Playboy Ranch as much as the cults.
Yeah, been in a couple cults, but the sex was like a lot more underground than out in the open. It wasn't like orgies. It was just church camp, is what it was called.
Yeah. So, what do you normally do for a living, George? Are you a full-time comic or?
No, computer consultant.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
That's not bad. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
I'm in that boat.
I enjoy it.
You do programming or?
No, I do support, training, some database development.
Yeah, fun. That sounds a lot like what my parents do for Nationwide. Woo.
Database development sounds fun.
Actually, it is.
Yeah.
It's really fucking complicated.
My wife worked in public health and did statistics for a long time, so it's sort of the same kind of spreadsheets and stuff.
Mark Twain had the best definition for statistics.
Yeah.
Lies, damn lies, and statistics.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they say 85% of all statistics are made up, including that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've read that.
So many times. I've heard it a lot too.
The main thing
like
you gotta remember
statistics.
is garbage in, garbage out.
But there's so many numbers available for anything. You can literally prove anything you fucking want. Like, it's fun. I'll never forget the day my trig teacher, like one of the few lucid things I remember from high school was whenever our trigonometry teacher was like, yeah, 1 + 1 = 3. You want to see how? And we're like, what the fuck? But it's 2. Look, 1 finger, 2. That's not 3. The fuck? I don't remember how the fuck you work it out, but I know it's possible because I remember that shit. I was not high that day yet.
That's probably why you were high that night.
Yes. Well, I need to eat some acid and figure this out, man. Somewhere Jesus is involved in this, and I need to find that guy and ask him a question. Man, I'd wish and don't wish we had cell phones back then. I mean, we did have cell phones, but it didn't have cameras on. And I sure as hell couldn't afford one. So.
They see, when you say, had cell phones back then, back then for me, we had Dixie cups on a string.
Yeah, I don't go that far back. I go back to the Michael Douglas Wall Street days. I remember physically seeing that phone.
I actually had one of the bag phones. Did you ever see those?
Nice.
Oh yeah, man. I've owned quite a few of them. You could still make those things work with some rigging. And the battery life on them bastards was amazing.
Well, yeah, the battery was as big as your head.
Yeah, that's what the bag was for. And I had that big old clunky
12 pounds.
You got it.
We used to go to get all methed out and go to fucking flea markets in like Central Ohio and stuff and buy them for like $5, and then we would fix them so we could walk around with this big ass bag phone as a cell phone. It was fun. People would be like, what the fuck? We're like walking around having conversations with this big ass phone on a cord and shit.
See, you need that to go back in time because you got to fit your iPhone in the bag so that people don't see it.
Oh, yeah, I never thought about that.
It was actually an old show, The Journeyman, and he basically traveled back in time, not on purpose. He just something about his physiology, and he ended up back in time. So he's like in the 80s with this little phone, and he's looking around these people with these big phones, and he's like, "Oh shit!" Like you're not going to be able to hide very well if you keep using that puppy.
Right.
Yeah. If they can even. What is that? Are you from Star Trek? Is that from the movie Star Trek? Do you know William Shatner?
What's funny, that the original flip phone.
Yeah.
That was because of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Based on the communicator.
I think Star Trek created quite a few cell phones. I know the Razor was modeled after the tricorder. It was what that older gray phone was kind of also done a similar thing, because the tricorder opened up to the top. Even though I think the original communicator opened up to the top as well.
Yeah, the original had the flip. Yep.
Flip up. Which was really odd because it was like a speaker cover that you flipped up to talk to another speaker cover. And you're just like, that's a little redundant, don't you think? But anyway, they didn't really have much to work with, I guess, back then.
But I always love it when they do stuff like that. It's like the transporter.
Yeah.
Whole concept of transporting is Heisenberg has this theory that you basically, if you make copies, it's like Xerox copies, every copy gets some flaw in it, and every version gets worse. And so that concept, because of that theory of transporting some live person couldn't happen. And so in Star Trek, they actually have a component called the Heisenberg compensator.
Yeah, it was so well written. I mean, like, I don't know if it's just because I'm getting old. Probably has something to do with it. Like, the older I get, the less I like newer movies and that kind of thing. I mean, it just doesn't. A lot of times, I don't feel like what a majority of Hollywood is putting out is fucking worth my time. You know,
I much prefer the movies that make you think,
right?
And that you don't see too many of those anymore.
No, and I mean movies that you can tell were clearly written, you know, like for a purpose. I mean, there's all these movies that people are wanting to say should have never been made now, and you're like, no, they were pointing at the same problems that you're talking about. They just did it differently. I mean, you can look at Mel Brooks's History of the World Part 1, like. That was a complete satire of how fucked up the entire world's history has been. And he never made a part 2. And refuses to, I've never been able to find why. Like, I've never been able to find the exact reason why he gave up on making part 2.
I don't think he ever planned to. I think the thing at the end was the whole point of, making fun of it and not planning in part 2, but actually kind of giving the trailer for part 2 at the end of part 1.
Right, but I don't think I've looked, and I mean, maybe I don't remember because I found it one time when I was drunk or something. Who knows? But I mean, I can't remember finding anywhere where he ever said that, though. Like, he just kind of, if people would ask him about it, he would just be like, "Yeah, you can find it. It's out there." Like, he would fuck with people over it. I know I've seen that for sure. I definitely remember it because, but you know, whatever. Mel Brooks was a fucking genius. I mean, Blazing Saddles, his first fucking movie. Look at that shit.
Well, in Blazing Saddles, the quintessential scene is the campfire scene, the beans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When he told the story, when he was making the movie, they were doing the dailies. One of the executives came up to him and said, had just seen that scene and said, "We can't have that scene in the movie. That has to be cut from the movie. There's no way we can do that." And he said, "Okay, sure, fine, whatever," and did it anyways. Same executives walking down the hall. He's like, "Oh shit!" The day after the movie was released, and he comes up to him and says, "Oh, that scene on the campfire was so good. It's like totally different." It's like,
fucking dicks.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Richard Pryor was supposed to be the Black Cowboy. He helped Mel Brooks write the movie. Like, he was involved in the early production of Blazing Saddles, and MGM was like, I'm pretty sure it was MGM was like, you can't have him in this movie. And Mel Brooks didn't have the nuts yet, I think, or the backing, because I was pretty sure that was his first movie or one of his first movies. To basically say, no, fuck you, he's in the movie, so Richard ended up getting cut out of it, which I don't think it mattered because he ended up doing something else, and that's what really made him famous.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember what the movie was right now off the top of my head, but so Pryor, can you imagine how much better Blazing Saddles would have been with fucking Richard Pryor in that shit? And then Richard Pryor and Mel and all those guys worked together again on the next movie, including the Black Cowboy, I believe.
Well, and Richard Pryor and that one's one of my favorite, the Gene Wilder worked together in a lot of movies, so that would have been they would have gotten together really well because they worked together really well in so many movies.
Oh yeah, that team of people was so good. So many fucking movies. Silver Streak.
Mm-hmm.
Stir Crazy, one of my
Stir
favorites.
Crazy was a really good one. I can never think of shit whenever I need to actually think of it. And it's like there's too much shit in my head. What was? Oh man, there was one where Gene Wilder did blackface.
Oh, See No Evil.
Yeah, that was.
God,
I just watched that for the first time. Oh my God, that was a good movie.
Imagine if that was released today. Oof.
None of this stuff can get released today.
And you can't do like Eddie Murphy's Trading Places. That movie wouldn't come out today. They'd be like, oh my God, making fun of homeless people, making fun of black people, basically saying rich people can buy black people.
None of the Sean Connery, James Bond movies could come out today.
I mean, well, actually, the James Bond movies, just the names of the women would be a problem.
Right.
Octopussy.
No, remember the one Holly Goodhead?
Pussy Galore?
Yeah.
Pussy Galore. Yeah.
But you could also argue that those women in the James Bond movies were extremely empowered women who, used whatever advantages that they had to the absolute utmost that they could, and fucking were pretty badass ladies, So I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah, Grace Jones
launched a lot of careers.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. I don't think. I don't know. I don't see. They're trying to make cancel culture survive, and like outside, cancer culture. It's a fucking cancer. Like, I mean, outside of like the people who have gotten accused of like and convicted of like actually raping and harming people and shit, like people are starting to fight back now pretty hard. Like, no, fuck you. Like Neil Brennan is going through some shit right now over the Crystalia stuff. And he's just like, yeah, fuck off. I think D'Elia got mostly exonerated from what I understand, although his career's still kind of fucked. We'll see what happens.
Well, you have to keep in mind, people don't read the corrected versions of anything.
Oh no. They just keep what's in their head in their head and don't ever go on. But you know what? They tried to lump Joey Diaz at the very beginning and with the D'Elia stuff, and he was like, "You suck my cock," and he's cool. He's like, "I don't give a fuck. Fuck off," and he kept going.
That he's been saying that forever.
Yeah, and it's like he's one of those people, and he's one of the reasons I got into comedy, and how he correlates is like, life has been fucked up for a lot of fucking people. You can't necessarily, say someone did some horrible shit, especially if you were involved in the horrible shit. I mean, it's like people are making Tekashi 6ix9ine still a wonderful person. Like, no. And they're trying to justify it by they were sleeping with his girlfriend or wife or whatever, or he was just a kid. I'm like, no. I started making meth whenever I was like 15 years old. I knew damn well what I was doing. Like, kids are intelligent, especially now. Like my generation at that age, the internet was starting to explode, So I had the wealth of information at my fingers, and I was on all kinds of drugs. So I had all kinds of time to find shit. Now kids just have to like ask about things. Like, if you don't think kids aren't smart now, and are going to be able to function. Look at all the kids that are running fucking businesses and shit, entertainment companies and all kinds of shit. It's fucking trying to remember where I was going with this. Oh yeah, like people are intelligent enough nowadays to see the bullshit, and you get caught up in it, especially because they're going after the most egregious shit like rape and that kind of thing, and pedophilia, and at the same time, like they give people who clearly have shown predatory things in their past passes because they're cooler, or they happen to have been president for 8 years or whatever, It's just fucking weird, man, the way it works out. But I think it's the silent middle is slowly stopping being silent. I mean, you see it with the protests and stuff. So many white people who normally probably would have never fucking done that before in their life were like, all right, I have to do something. Can't work because I'm quarantined in my house. They're, fuck it. Let's go fucking back this shit.
Get you out of the house.
Yeah, and then you end up going, wow, I can actually see what they're fucking talking about. Look at how fucked up that is right there in front of my face. And, you know, people are moving into that middle where they're like, we just all need to fucking chill the fuck out for 10 years and be like, all right, we need to fix this. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, at least you got people out from behind Facebook.
Yeah. And
Right.
Facebook is once again becoming a tool for people to communicate and coordinate and do all the things that they were supposed to do before. And it be used for, as opposed to, I mean, it's still got that echo chamber bullshit to it.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Well,
But
what people don't realize is Facebook is just like the internet in general. It's neither good nor bad. It's a tool. It can be used for good or bad. If I have a hammer, I can hit a nail or I can hit somebody over the head. Don't blame the hammer.
Exactly. But it's like anything else on the internet too. It's immediately going to devolve into just shit conversation if it goes on long enough. Like, are you aware of Godwin's law? That any argument on the internet, if it goes on long enough, someone will bring up Nazis or Hitler.
That makes absolute sense.
It totally does.
Because we're on the internet right now, and bam, look, there's Nazis and Hitler. Like, all right. Self-affirming prophecy.
Like 10 minutes in.
I think we'll be fine. I think everything's fine. I think people are just getting way too bent out of shape. Like, we're just reactionary creatures by nature, and you just gotta fucking chill out. I mean, you know, marijuana is slowly becoming more and more legal here in the country, and as more people start to consume it, I think they're gonna be like, whoa. Now I understand why potheads are so chill, because that shit's crazy. I don't want any part of that. Fuck y'all. Y'all do that. And there's enough people are gonna walk away from the insanity because they're just stoned and realize that it's stupid. That's my prediction.
You know, there is that concern that they did call this, you know, current Generation Z, you know, kind of where they're going to go from there.
Right.
I don't think they're expecting to.
You know, they're calling them Zoomers now.
Why are they walking around with no pants?
Yeah.
On Zoom? Well, hey, man, I mean, in all fairness, I ain't mad at him for that. Shit, I woke up this morning and was like, you know, I got a lot to do today to get done. I actually need to get dressed. Right. And I'm actually working again. I mean, I'm outside of the house on a consistent basis again. So for me to feel like that on a day off where I know I'm not going anywhere all day long, it's like, they'll learn, man. They'll learn. You got to wear clothes. Definitely. If you don't wear clothes, you just feel weird.
You got to put on real pants.
Yes. I don't know. I wear clothes that still feel weird.
All right. You got to put on pants or else you don't actually wake up. I think that's something that they've proven. Like, there's a part of that whole process that makes your brain trigger like, okay, it's ready for the day.
Yeah. Well, the generation behind us hasn't fucking woken up then because they don't ever put on real pants. Have you seen these kids?
Yeah.
Walking around the airport in fucking pajamas.
Oh, fuck.
Those pajamas. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you fucking people?
I think I shared a TikTok of this fucking woman on my gram who like went into a Spectrum TV store with like full coronavirus, like mask mandate where she was at, like no mask, no shoes, no socks, wearing some like pajama booty shorts. Like, I've been waiting outside for a half hour. Y'all need to come take this thing from me, and I just need to go. It only takes a few minutes. And the guy was like, "You have to have a mask on and shoes, please. You need to go, lady." He's like, "It's not even your turn yet." She's like, "I just a couple seconds. Y'all need to take this from me." I'm like, the fuck? And that's mostly what my Instagram is. It's just people who are stupid. Like,
people who are stupid.
People who are just stupid. Not all of them, I guess. Just some. Some of them, you know, are just interesting people. But like
the most vocal ones.
Yeah.
We're all stupid.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm stupid most of the time, so that's fine. It's fine.
But you have a microphone, so that makes
I do. As long as people are entertained by the absolute ridiculousness that comes out of my mouth, I mean, it's fine. I was on somebody's podcast. I think it's supposed to air on August 10th, and I can't wait to share that with people because I broke one of their co-hosts. Because their premise is, I broke them. So their premise behind their show is that it's like three friends who went to college together, and they basically hang out and get shit faced. And they started doing guests, so I hung out with them and got shit faced. And then and there's this guy named Norman Somerton who I was exposed to thanks to Tom Segura and his wonderful wife Christina Pazensky. I'm a huge fan of Your Mom's House. Have been for a really long time. And Norman is this older gentleman who is into women dominatrix style things. And he's just a wonderful, wonderful character. Very hard to watch some of his material. But like the tit cups thing he does is pretty funny. Like he's like this 75-year-old man who legitimately gives himself titties with those like milking machines.
Where the fuck did you go?
Oh, I got to plug in my laptop, man. Sorry, I
give it a heads up.
Trying to get
in the middle of a sentence.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's one of those milking machines. I really wish I had one to pull out. Like we even had one whenever a couple years ago, you know, because you get one for free whenever you have a kid now.
So fucking funny.
That would have been great. Like, you know, it's one of these, but with the good ones, with the glass cups.
It was like this, you know, like.
Well, you know, we try and
that
be
was my next magical trick.
We try and be spontaneous, you know, spontaneous. I mean, the video's going up behind a fucking paywall because people need to help support me being alive and feeding my children. And same with James. I'm sure James's kids want to eat too.
I have too many fucking. I got more kids than you. I got stepkids whose dads don't pay child support either, so.
Yeah, it's the same fucking thing.
All the work, half the fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's great. It's a house full of fucking joy. People don't flush the fucking toilet.
Yeah, what the fuck is that with people?
What the hell? With kids? You're talking about how smart they are. And I'm like, this kid can't even make a fucking grilled cheese.
My daughter can make grilled cheeses. She flushes the toilet. I've had to like literally
flush the toilet to make grilled cheese.
Mm-hmm. It depends on the grilled cheese.
As long as it's not grandma's Famunda grilled cheese. Oh, yay. Devolved into grandma vagina jokes. Yay. That's fun. That's fun. It's fine.
Wasn't this when we scheduled it to go off the rails?
Well, I don't know what rails we were on to begin with.
That's true.
Yeah, we're very rarely on any specific rail.
I mean, like, I'm rambling and then he calls. And starts recording.
It's always interesting seeing where a conversation picks up, where because I started right at the point where it starts recording and then just kind of goes from there. It's fun. It's a lot more fun that way, I think.
Just talking about crazy shit.
It's a good time.
Didn't sleep at all last night. I was cleaning up cat diarrhea. It was great.
It's fun.
Fucking awesome.
More fun than humans should be allowed.
Kids. Let's get kittens. Let's get a batch of kittens. Fucking great. I didn't know I have a cat. I didn't know that it's allergic to chicken. You ever heard of fucking such a thing? A cat that can't eat chicken. This thing wouldn't survive if I didn't save it. And,
that's crazy.
There's chicken in every kind of cat food, so they have to eat like rabbit, fucking lamb and stuff. It's beautiful. or they get diarrhea and shit all over the house all night.
Awesome. So how's the comedy show going, George?
Yeah. How is it?
How often do you guys air it?
Basically, we do one every other week, every other Friday. We've been doing one.
That's cool.
Trying to keep the same kind of format as a show. You've got the host, the opener, the feature, the headliner. To kind of keep that going. So I know a lot of the shows kind of have turned into more showcase format, where just everybody has so much time when they go.
Mm-hmm. Now, how different is that for you than doing actual stand-up?
Well, for a lot of people, it's very different because they basically just sit there and kind of talk about stuff. But I personally I stand up and I try to do bits, and
right.
and I try to get my mannerisms and I'm trying to keep that fresh so that when the time comes back, I can get on stage. I'm not rusty and uncomfortable.
How do you feel that's affected your writing?
Well, way too much Corona content.
Right.
Actually, more recently, I've been kind of moving away from the Corona specific stuff and just more general things going on.
But you've been stuck inside this whole time, basically.
Actually, I have not.
Okay.
I do have clients that I see, so I've been leaving periodically and going to that, and then I do still go up to Ohio and do some work up there. But
nice.
So for me, really, I haven't really had that quarantined frustration of being stuck in the house for that long period of time. Also, being a tech guy, I got the remote access stuff that I've been doing. So I still get up in the morning, get in the shower, and get dressed.
Yeah, you're already used to talking to people over Zooms and that kind of stuff to begin with anyway, if you're doing remote support for people.
Yeah.
Well, brother, I believe we have now about hit the hour that we give everybody. Is there anything that you specifically want to plug? I mean, where is this comedy show at? Where can people find all of your wonderful material?
Button Down Comedy is the name of the production company. It's on Facebook and Instagram. The shows are Zoom based, donation funded, so the comics basically will get a little bit of money hopefully from that. Once we get back to live shows, we have them at a place called the Boiler Room in Asheville. It's underneath a nightclub. It's a real nice location.
Nice.
Any time you guys do you know when they're going to open back up there? Or
I don't. I mean, any plans that they would have had recently are probably scrapped because it looks like we might be heading towards closing up again. We're right there with you guys.
Yeah, fun times.
It's funny. It's the ones that got hit really hard at the beginning that took this seriously and are now doing pretty good. And the ones that we kind of got hit a little bit with it, but nothing major. So we're like, it wasn't as big as they said. Now we're finding out.
Right, exactly. The ones who locked down the hardest are getting hit. Yeah. The lockdown earliest, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we were listening to fucking people, a lot of people are being stupid, man. A lot are being stupid and just like, it's a fucking mask. All right.
Like, we ignore the people with the medical degrees and listen to the person with the loudest voice in the Facebook profile.
Right. And politicizing healthcare is just asinine.
So dumb.
And the people who are pushing for reopen are also the people that don't want to wear a mask. It's like, no. If you want to reopen, wear the stupid mask. Simple as that.
Right. I mean, people don't fucking realize, there's parts of the world where, you can't go outside without a fucking mask.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as bad as AIDS was, we knew, sex and needles were the way it transferred. Okay, there are ways to avoid that. This one, talking is a potential way of getting this. So it's like we have.
I just saw an article the other night too that was like it could be foodborne. Like, I mean, there's so many different ways that it could be transmitted. Like, I don't know what's real or anything, but
they just don't know. That's the biggest thing. Everyone's talking about death rates and infection rates. We don't know. We were only testing initially. We were only testing the people that showed symptoms.
right.
Okay.
And only in certain settings too. Like it wasn't even didn't even there. I've heard plenty of stories of people who were well, I had symptoms and they were like, just go home for 2 weeks.
Right.
If you start to die, call us.
We had tested less than 1% of the population, and everyone thinks they know the numbers. Well, the 1% we were testing were the people who showed symptoms. So we don't know. Right. If we test everybody else, guess what? We're probably going to have at least twice as many people have it, but not as high of a percentage rate because they weren't showing symptoms. But there's going to be numbers. The death rate is based on percentage of people infected. We don't know how many people are infected. So death rate's going to be different. It's like none of these numbers mean anything at this point in time.
Well, it's fucking ride, man. We'll see what the fuck happens. So, economy's gonna be fun. I know Peter Schiff is all pissed off at the world, like I fucking told you so, you motherfuckers. And it's just, I try. It was probably one of the few episodes of Rogan I've like actually sat down to watch because I wanted to hear what the guy said, and halfway through I was like, I can't fucking listen to this anymore.
It's like here's the bottom line: if the medical professionals are wrong, we wore a mask for no reason. If the anti-mask people are wrong, we kill people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can wear a mask,
It's not that fucking hard. It's not that fucking hard.
I've got several.
Yeah. Come on, Etsy. It's all over Etsy. Support your local Etsy person. Buy a fucking mask.
It's an Etsy conspiracy.
Yeah. That's just it. If everybody buys masks, it's going to help the economy.
I mean, it's something, fucking people are buying cars and all this other useless shit and nobody's buying masks. It's crazy.
Right.
Fucking crazy.
Well, how are you going to go?
You don't have a mask to wear. Where can you get there?
And all the people I see wearing masks in their cars.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I like the people who wear the mask on their chin.
Yeah. Or they don't cover their nose.
Right.
Yeah.
If I've ever seen someone who is a half-ass, that's a sure sign of it.
I should start asking people if they're a plumber, if they just have like their nose exposed. Like, are you a plumber? Well, George, we appreciate you being on the show. I hope you enjoy the rest of your wonderful day.
Thanks, you too.
Hey,
no
problem, fun, man. Thanks.
Thanks, George.
Have a good day.
And we enjoy you, Albino Rhino Nation, or whatever the fuck you ridiculous people call yourself, all 27 of you. Have a wonderful day.